Okay, hello, this is the third video in our FTW RCL series. I'm Echo the Chimera, and I have Ghost and Quaz here. So, real fast, I'm going to cover something that I enjoy doing, and while a lot of people don't do it, and some might even say it doesn't help, I feel like having a custom cursor like this one can help a lot. Now, this particular cursor is really bright and flashy, but it's also pretty good because it accurately shows, to some extent, the spread at long range, and it has a very accurate crosshair towards the middle. So you can custom design your own. I got this one from Battlegrounds, and Syncretic made the replica for me. Actually, his name is Oleos now, I think. But I've also custom designed my own. If you just want it to look fancy for videos, that's fine. You can also completely redesign your regular cursor, because as you can see, mine's actually red. You can redesign a lot of things, because my first fields are green, which is pretty cool. So, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to get this cursor. Well, not this cursor. How to get a custom cursor. So, the first thing you need to do is head to your desktop. And sometimes this won't be on your desktop. That's fine. But if you have a Roblox player icon and are on Windows 7 or before, right-click it, click Open File Location. Then you have a bunch of things here. What you're focusing on first, and while you've got things like shaders and all of this, what you're focusing on first is content. You can edit anything in these. I, for example, edit things like particles, or actually I don't. I edit mostly in textures. I can edit in sounds. I'm able to edit in music. And I can technically edit the fonts, even though generally speaking, it's just going to mess you up unless you're very good at it. So for now, I'm going to focus on textures. And I have a bunch of things in here, like all of my cursors. All of them. Unless it's a user uploaded one, all of Roblox's default cursors are in here. So mine are different shades of red and green because those are good colors, because FDW and green is a good color, in my opinion. You'll notice that on my screen, if someone's doing a chat in the far away, then their dabbable turns green. And this helps me see them very apparently. When I'm loading a Roblox game, the whole loading thing is green. And I custom do a lot of things. I custom made explosions to be green. I don't know what it is, but I obsess over making a bunch of things look toxic. So, what you're going to want to do to modify your RCL cursor is find your gun cursor and gun weight cursor. These are mine. And they are obviously not the ones you're going to have by default. What you're going to want to do is either have someone make one for you in the same file size, 80 by 80. Note that if you go higher or lower in file size, it can get weird. And generally speaking, it already is centered, so if you don't want to take the time to learn how to center it, then don't. Just modify what you have. So what you're going to want to do is get GIMP or Paint.net. Technically, you can do this with Paint. Don't. You can use things like Photoshop or Illustrator, like I have. I have Paint, and I think I have Paint.net, and I have a bunch of different expensive things. Fact is, you don't need these, and I actually prefer to use GIMP. So with GIMP, you just open it up. And please note, this is basically the same as with Paint.net. The only difference is the layout. They have most of the same capabilities. So, just zoom in as much or as little as you like. Find the center of it. And you can just paint all around, and I am not keeping this because this is a terrible change. So, if you want to, like, I don't know, make it darker in your crosshair or lighter, you can do that. So if you like to have a custom cursor or like the idea of it, this is a good way to get started. Just edit this and then export it. So go to File and find Export As. Export it as the same name as the previous one, or rename the previous one to something different, like backup, in case you somehow break this one and want to revert back without having to uninstall and reinstall Roblox. And go ahead and save it and replace it. I'm not going to do that right now because I've already done it. Then what you're going to want to do is, especially if you're modifying more than just your gun cursor, also with the gun weight cursor, I would just make a slight difference so you have a visual cue as to whether or not you have ammo. So if it's blacked out on the inside for me, I know that I'm not ready to shoot yet. So I have two options. I have either the option to switch guns or wait and get to cover. Generally speaking, cover is going to help me more. So you're going to want to make a slightly different cursor for both. Some people don't think the weight cursor matters. I do. Visual cues help me a lot, but everyone's different. Sometimes the reload sound is enough for you, and a lot of times it is for me, but having both an auditory and visual cue helps. What you're going to do then is click both of these files, or just the one you modified, and copy them to another place, or if you're like me and edit a lot of textures from everything in Roblox, what you're going to want to do is go back in Content and copy the whole textures folder and paste it somewhere else where you can get to it. Then if Roblox doesn't update, repeat the original steps, find your Roblox player, and open file location. Now if you don't know where it is, then generally speaking, your structure is going to be similar to mine. If you're on a, if you're on a 64-bit system, it should be almost exactly the same. Obviously, this is my name, and it's not your name, unless it happens to be your name, which is fine. So whatever your username is, you're going to want to look at the file path, go to C, users, or username, app data, local, Roblox versions, and then you're not going to know what version it is. I mean, most of the time, it's guess and check. So you can modify one, then copy it over to the other if it doesn't update, and you know that the other one is your most recent. The Roblox player icon helps loads, but isn't the only aspect. So there are other ways to get to it. I hope this video helps you in your aim improvement endeavors, and we'll see you in the next video.